All right. So we are going to talk about setting your goals. And I know a lot of you are already in the midst of this, but hopefully you'll pick something up today that will give you just a little bit more insight on some things you can do to tweak it, to hit them a little bit faster and know that you're on course. So it's estimated that we process between 60 and 80,000 thoughts through our head every day. So my challenge to you is start watching what your inner voice is saying. I have a brain, I don't know what she is. She's my brain therapist is what I call her, but she's got some big, huge, fancy title, and she calls her inner brain it, or they, or she doesn't acknowledge it. It's just, it's it. It's the peddler or the the other side of what she wants it to be. Usually this brain is not your friend. So this is the one that's the worrier, that's the you can't do this, saying, you want to make sure that you're watching those thoughts and start plugging in as much positive to your thoughts as you can every day so that you can counteract that voice. Our brains are just a big computer and they're running soundtracks all the time without us even thinking about it. So make sure that you're listening to podcasts, you're reading books, you're doing enough positive input that you've got those soundtracks running through your brain. I want you to start noticing what you think about first when you wake up in the morning or before you go to sleep at night. One thing that I've started doing this week, and I highly suggest it, if you can find anybody who knows anybody in Australia, sign them up, because it's the first thing I do in the morning. It's the last thing I do before I go to bed, because it's the only time we can connect that they are actually awake. Our time zones are literally offset. So it's awesome because I'm thinking actives right before I go to bed, and the very first thing in the morning, I'm trying to get up early so I can catch them before they go to sleep. So whatever it is, if you're laying in bed and you can sit there for 2 minutes before you put your feet on the floor and go through your goal in your head, and I'm going to go through at the end of this what exactly I want you to do, but I want you to do that morning and night for just a little while if you can, just to get into that habit. And then if you're doing that right before you go to bed, you're setting that process so that your brain can positively think all night long and not worry and not go through all the stresses of the day and relive those. The last thing you want is to reemphasize those in your brain. So for some of you, I've been hearing this little bit of self-talk come through in your conversations, and I shouldn't say you because I'm sure I do it at times too. But when we set goals, our goals should not be things that we've accomplished before. And so I've talked to some of you and you're like, okay, I know I can get to this level because I've done that before. Well, that is not a goal to get to that level. That's a task. That's something you'd put on your to-do list because you've already done it. It's like the fish in the fishbowl saying, I'm going to make a goal to swim around this bowl today. That's not a goal. That's a task. That's something he's done before and he'll do over and over again. A goal is going to cause you to stretch. So in this case, it's the little fish that's literally jumping out of its bowl into the bigger bowl, taking that leap of faith to go somewhere he's never gone before. That's a goal. A goal should stretch you and take you into unknown territory. Be clear on your goal. Now, you might have incremental goals along the way to get to where you've been before. That's fine, but make sure your long-term goals are the ones that will stretch you. And then be clear on them. If you can't see them clearly, you might need help. In this picture, you can see, a spyglass that they would use to see far away. In this business, you want to talk to somebody that's been to where you want to be. So talk to one of these cross-line. We now have somebody in the business that's gone all the way to the top. So there's always people that you can reach out to that have walked the walk and gotten to where you want to be. Eric and I haven't got there yet, but we've been there twice in other companies. And so we at least know the path. So you can always talk to us and let us help you get your vision more clear. But if you can't see the goal clearly, talk to somebody because you need to be able to see it with laser clarity. And then you need to break it down into pieces that you know what the steps are that you need to take. And I threw in the last one there, create your own success through helping others, because we really truly are in the best industry in the world, because your success is best solidified when you help other people reach their goals. We're going to talk about that right now. If your goal is A6, for example, A6 is $10,000 worth of volume and you need it in 3 organizations. Could you do it all by yourself? Maybe. I know a few people that could hustle up and go out and help 50 people. They could sign up 50 people themselves. I've seen a few people do it and sign up 50 people and help them order a $200 pack. So a family pack, an immune pack, or an all products pack, and they can literally hustle and do that by themselves. A6 is doable by yourself. It's not suggested. And I don't suggest it just because you're trying to pass the work off onto other people. That's not the point. But the point is you're creating a team. You want to be bringing people on, not just that are product lovers. We love the products here at Actives, but it's so tempting just to bring on people because we love the products and that's all we talk about with them, and they never catch the vision of building a business. We need to be having those business conversations with people because they can literally impact so many more lives with these products by building it as a business than they can by signing people up as customer-minded people. And that's sometimes hard for people to wrap their head around because they are just so focused on the products that they're in that first process of just sign up a bunch of people and get them on product. Well, the magic comes when you can sign up a few people and help them begin to catch the vision of where this company can go and what this can mean as a business for them, and that they can start telling people, because once you do that, pretty soon you've got 100 people out helping you share the message of these products, or 1,000 people, or 10,000 people, or 100,000 people. And it's because you set the right standard, you set the right message, and you taught them to build it as a business. And we all love the products. That's 100,000 people now that are helping people to feel healthier and feel better that you wouldn't have had if you only talked product with people. So better to help 10 people go A2, which is a $1,000 volume, which is basically 4 people buying family packs. Or you could help 4 people go a little bigger and go A3, which is $2,500 volume in each of their groups, which is them each having 10 people buying a family pack. So I did this on family packs. You're probably going to need to do a few more people because some of your people will be doing the immune pack, which is our favorite, and the all products pack if they're single. So you're going to need a few more people, but the math was really easy with 250. And so this is more of just an explainer, show you the system, show you the way to figure out how to reach your goals, not an exact science. The goal isn't to make everybody buy a family pack. We want people to buy the product pack that makes the most sense for them. This is just to simply show if you help people reach their goals, you can reach yours much easier, and it's a lot more fun. Okay, we're going to think a little bigger. If your goal is A11, for those of you that are brand new, if you go A11 in your first year, it can mean a lot of generational wealth to your family for years and years and years later. So this is your chance to go dig that oil well. This is your chance to go play the lottery and know that you can win. This is your chance to scratch the Publishers Clearinghouse and mail it off knowing that you have really good odds. They've pretty much stacked that luck in your corner with this. You have to work really, really hard your first year, but if you hit it, this is something that's going to be generational wealth to your family forever. So A11 is $75,000. If some of you are talking about going A11 and you've never sat down and figured out how you're going to do it, it's not a goal, it's just a dream. You need to figure out how to make it laser clear, know how you're going to get there. So 75,000 needs to be spread between 4 different legs or groups, organizations, whatever you want to call them, but there are 4 different groups underneath you. So you've signed up at least 4 people, and odds are not all the people you sign up are going to be business builders. So you might have had to sign up 15 to find those 4, or 20 to find those 4, whatever it takes. But you're looking for those 4 people that'll go and build organizations, and you can help them do that. So you could have 375 people buying product and you're in A11, but honestly, I've never seen anybody do that alone. This is where it starts to separate the people that think alone of I'm the leader and I'm going to do this and bringing on the people that are just product minded versus the people that are creating leadership and bringing on people that have some little bit of a dream, and they help build that dream and help them see what they can accomplish through this business. And as you start to do that, it's much easier to hit this if you help 10 people hit A5, or you help 4 people hit A8. So much easier. And it sets you up for the big goals because you can't get there without a team. I don't ever like to hear anybody stand and say, I've hit the top of the company and look at me, look at me, look at me, because the truth is you cannot get there alone. You can't. It's a team effort. It's people helping each other to achieve their goals and incrementally grow. So A16 is $1 million worth of volume. That's going to scare a few people on this call, but understand if you're building this right and you're building it incrementally and you're building A8 right and setting up the leaders underneath you and helping them reach A3 or A4, then you hit A10, they're going to want to hit A8. And when they hit A8, you hit A12, and it kind of snowballs and piggybacks and pushes you there. So if you've done the work right to get to A10 or A8 and you've got your leaders in place, they're going to just follow right along with you and want to hit that next rank. And as they do, it's going to push you and you'll get closer and closer. And one day you'll hit A16 and they're all at A12 and A13 and you're celebrating together and they've got their car bonus and everybody's happy, but then they want to be A16 too. And so then your turn is to turn around and help them rise to the top of the mountain. I know it's kind of hard to see my picture here, but the guy standing on the top of the mountain with his arms up, the next move he makes is to reach down and to help that next person to come up to the top of the mountain. So you can see the examples down below. You could help 20 people in four different legs at least. They need to be spread around, not just 20 people straight down, but if you help 20 people go A10, which is 50,000 in volume, you've got the volume to hit A16. And it's a whole lot easier than you trying to hammer it out and get $1 million in sales. You can't do it. It's physically impossible unless you've done something I've never seen before. I should always amend that. Somebody may be a super person, but I think really the super people are the ones that bring people with them to the top. So finding your first 100 people is going to be your hardest part of your business. It's a lot harder to find your first 100 people in my mind than going from A15 to A16. And I'm saying that kind of generally because I haven't done it yet. But in our last company, to go from the next to last rank to the top rank wasn't nearly as hard as finding your first 100 people. Because the 100 people are going to literally be something that you're doing almost by yourself. You just have to kind of put your head down and grunt through it and just go through the numbers and take the no's. I've talked to a few of you this week that have just been hammering it out and getting the no's, and some of them are hard. And I want you to know I'm in the field with you. I'm in the trenches with you. Saturday was a rough day for me last week. I talked to 7 people that all said no, and some of them told me to go jump and, just bashed on what I was doing and just kind of hammered me. And it did hurt. It's like, I've built enough of a shell around me that it doesn't usually hurt. It just kind of rolls off. But I had them back to back to back that day, and it kind of took a toll. And I had to sit down and do a little head work and do my, back to my goals and back to what I know I need to be doing, and literally put myself back together. And then the next 2 people were open, and one said yes, and one is still looking at it and still, liking what she sees. So they're both looking really good. But to find those 2 really good, I had to go through some of those hard ones really fast. And so you're creating momentum in your business. Nobody can create that momentum for you except for you. So the leaders that hit the top, here's another little nugget for you. The leaders that hit the top at some point have to pour on momentum, pour on energy. And that's why I love the 500 Club. Thank you, corporate. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Because it creates incentive for you to do the proper behavior that you have to do to get your business off the ground. At some point, you have to do enough in a short period of time that it creates energy and momentum. People will join your business during that time because they can feel the energy and they don't want to be left behind. So it will inspire people to do things that might otherwise not. It will inspire people to step up that otherwise might incubate. It creates momentum. And once you find that 100, if you've got the momentum, there's the big if. You can hammer out 100 in a year and it will not give you these same results. But if you hammer out 100 in, say, 120 days, it's going to create momentum because you've got your 10, they're getting their 10, and it's creating this surge. 100 turns into 300 sometimes in a month when that happens. Might take 60 days, but it's going to jump to a 300 really fast. And then it can turn to 1,000 in the same time frame. If you've got that momentum going, 300 can turn into 1,000 in a month. If you don't, 300 might take 3 years to turn into 1,000. And it has nothing to do with the momentum of the company. It has everything to do with the speed that you're running at and that your leaders are running at. You have to create that burst of momentum. So enroll people, not just in the business, but enroll them in the idea of helping you do something really special. Enroll them in the idea of creating this energy inside your group and helping bless the world in a really big way. When you put in your goal and you send this out into the world and into your inner brain to work on, you don't have to know how it's accomplished. When you plug something into your GPS, you're not working out the course. You're not figuring out how to get there. You're just simply putting in the goal. You're putting in the destination. And then the device does the work. Well, your brain is just a device. So if you put in the goal, it's going to do the work to figure out how to get you there. And then your job is to put the foot on the gas, to put the car in gear, to steer the wheel, to do all the things that are the steps to get there. Well, in this business, if you don't know the next step, ask your upline, because there's always a next step. You need to be out showing the presentations on a very regular basis. You need to be making the phone calls, the texts, sending the videos, doing all the things that are the steps like driving the car. But you don't need to know how you're going to find the leaders. If you're doing the work, they will come. If you're doing the work and your brain is right, and you're not sabotaging your business and sabotaging yourself, you're going to see the results. But you have to do the right behaviors long enough to get to the top. So Martin Luther King Jr. said, take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. That's all we're asking you to do. If you're brand new tonight, your first step isn't to go out and try and show a presentation. Your first step is to make your list and get with your upline and figure out a time that you can get some of the people that you've got on your list in front of them, or on a Zoom, or in a house meeting. If you're in a place where you feel safe doing that, just bring a few people together. But put your people in front of your upline, because their job is to help you. Your job is not to be the message right out of the gate. We want you to learn and grow step by step. Okay, that's what we're talking about here. If you're stuck, or if you're brand new and you don't know what the next step is, or if you feel like you're just kind of spinning wheels and you don't know how to get to that next step, please ask someone. You should have a mentor, an accountability partner, an upline, somebody. It doesn't have to be up. Our best mentor in our last company was completely cross-lined to us, and we had this friendly camaraderie competition going on, and we were racing to the top. And you better believe that I was motivated when they made ranks, because I wanted to beat them. My husband wanted to beat him. And we worked longer hours and over things that we normally wouldn't have, and gave up birthdays and holidays and trips, and because we didn't want to be outworked. We didn't want to be outrun. We didn't want somebody else beating us to that prize. And so it's really good to have somebody that even isn't in your line that you can work side by side with and race. It's really fun. Okay, so this is the thing that I want you to pay special attention to. This is what I want you to do in the morning and in the evening, and then we're going to wrap up with this. So I want you to know what your goal is. And if your goal is A16, your long-term goal is A16, I want you to spend time every night and every morning going through the 5 senses of what it's going to be like when you hit A16. So it's not just a thing on the screen, and it's not just a little thing that you're going to see come across WhatsApp. A16 will change your life. And what's it going to look like for you? What kind of house are you going to live in? What kind of car are you going to drive? It doesn't mean that you need to drive any specific type of luxury car. It might be a brand new Lexus. It might be a brand new Tesla. It might be a sports car. It might be a Land Rover. It might be a Honda that is brand new and has a warranty. It's whatever it is for you, but know what color it is and what it smells like. What does it smell like when you open the door and it's new car smell? What does it smell like when you come home and you have a private chef, if that's something that's part of your dream? Would it be cool to have somebody come in and fix food for you 3 times a week, and you come in and there's something that smells great on the stove and you didn't have to do it? Is that a smell? Do you have fresh flowers in your house? Is that a smell? Do you have a favorite perfume or cologne that you or your husband would like to wear that you may not be able to afford at this point in your life? Can you smell that in your picturing of this dream? Can you smell the amusement park when you take your children or your grandchildren on a special holiday? What does it sound like in life around you? Do you wake up and somebody's cutting your grass? Do you wake up and you can smell the fresh cut grass because somebody's already been there and done your yard? What does it sound like? Do you have your grandchildren over more often? Are you able to spend time more at home with your children? Can you hear them? You need to visualize it until you can hear them. Visualize it until you can hear the sound of that amusement park, or the sound of the oar as you're paddling on a lake, or the ocean as it's coming in if you're at the beach. What does your life look like? What does it sound like? What does it smell like? What does it feel like? Can you feel the sand between your toes? Do you have 600 sheet count? When you roll over in your bed, can you feel the really soft sheets? I want you to visualize this so much that you can have all of your senses activated in this dream that's going to be your life. What are the tastes that you'll experience? Do you like to go and experience fine dining around the world? What would it taste like to be in France, sitting at a little table eating a French pastry? If you can visualize it and you can taste it, then you need to be doing that every morning and every night. Figure it out. You need to know laser clear what your dream looks like, what it's going to be like when you get there, and you need to be visualizing that to every degree that you can, all 5 senses, morning and night. It only has to take 2 minutes, but I promise it'll change your life. Guys, know what your goals are. If you're stuck, talk to somebody and get unstuck, because our timing right now, it's not going to last forever. And this is your chance. This is your chance to be early in a company and right up at the top and bless so many lives. And when you're bringing people on, make sure they understand their timing. Make sure they understand where they sit in the company and what this can mean for them. I'm not going to take longer tonight. I'm going to be respectful of our time and wrap this up. I've already gone over just a little bit, but I am so happy to be working with all of you. We have the best team forming, and I'm so glad to be part of this at Actives. So we're going to wrap this up. We will see you tomorrow night on our call, and thank you for being with us. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Thanks, Trish. What an amazing presentation.
Good night, Trish. Oh, I see you.
Everyone.
I hope you all took notes and are out setting your goals already.
With you.